It's 9 o'clock. Please stand and join us for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So, let's see, I guess, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Monday, June 9th meeting as written?
So moved. I'll second.
Been moved by Barker, seconded by McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Miscellaneous motions. Motion upon the recommendation of the Coffee County Clerk to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the notice to Lincoln Township Board for a special event 2025 cereal malt beverage license for Frog Creek Fighting Bulls LLC, 671 24th Road, Lebo, Kansas. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make that motion. Second.
Been moved by McCurry, seconded by Evendroth. Any further discussion? Is this just a one-day deal, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign 2 tax abatements in the amount of $4,961.24. This first one is the owner of a hotel brought in income statements for their business, and Connie gave them an abatement because of the results of that study. And then the second one was there was an incorrect billing or tax code on some new construction, I believe it was in '24, if I remember correctly. So I'd make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Move to approve the revised capital improvement plan for June 16th, 2025. And
This
is what this is, right? So Amber sent a note requesting that we keep the highlighted section at $750,000 to have enough funds to replace all the radios when they're at the end of life. So that was the explanation given. So
make a motion. I'll second it.
Moved by Evendroth, seconded by Barker. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Cale Johnson, county attorney, legal intern, new hire, pay category 5, step 5, wage $16.69, effective June 16th, 2025.
So does it put in 3 interns?
Yeah, this young man's been here before.
Yeah, he's been here before, and
Yeah.
this is the one that has the actual license now, can actually
That he can actually,
go to court.
right.
We
I
did
think
talk
it's-
about
yeah.
this. I remember being on about this.
I make that
I'll-
motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved by McCurry, seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is this it? I'm not seeing where the name is on there. Okay, they're on the line there, yeah.
right in your employee.
You got so many papers, I'm kinda trying to get rid of some of these. Okay, 9:05, Coffee County Airport,
We
2020.
have housing authority.
Oh, I'm sorry. Housing Authority Director, request to waive landfill fees. Good morning,
Good
Mike.
morning. I do have two today, so.
Brought us pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Oh, I've seen this one before. I've seen this one before. It was bad.
Yes, the first one is Bernal Reed Street Apartments, and that's how he has it listed, but of course they live out there, 1829 16th Road, Burlington. That one, you can tell, definitely had a
Issue?
bad, yeah, had a bad fire, and
It was.
yes,
Like that,
it was.
sad fire. Looks
Yeah,
like.
they're gonna try to clean that off. They're gonna try to keep the, foundation if it's possible and everything built back, of course, but, they're requesting waiving landfill fees.
So do we do those individually, or?
Probably so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
We have information on the property owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type it on there now.
Yeah.
Motion to waive landfill fees for Grinnell Reed Street Apartments LLC, owned by Travis Hoban, located 1829 16th Road, Burlington, Kansas. I so move.
I'll second.
Been moved by Thompson, seconded by McCurry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
My second one is for Sandy McCormick. This is 619 St. Lawrence. They are finally kind of cleaning up that, house next to it, and this house, it definitely needs to come down.
Are these two separate houses? Or just-
No, it's just a different view.
Okay.
But, that will probably become a vacant lot at the time. Michael Stratton, I think, he's gonna tear it down, she said, and then I think he's gonna take possession of the lot. He might put a garage on there at some time if he can get that all situated, but it will be cleaned up, and it definitely is. Yeah, it's real close to the school and everything, it's kind of a,
This has needed to come in for years.
Yes.
It's been a blight in the city
you're absolutely
for a long time.
right.
Okay.
And it hasn't been pursued until the new administration changed it, so
Okay.
I would make a motion.
Okay, Abendroth has moved to waive landfill fees for a structure owned by Sandra McCormick, located at 619 St. Lawrence, Burlington, Kansas. Do I have a second? Seconded by Peterson. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great.
Motion
And I
carries.
just want to let you know, SEK board went down to DeSoto last week just to kind of visit with their Chamber of Commerce and the prior mayor and stuff, just kind of see what they were doing on their housing, their workforce and everything with Panasonic and everything going on. We got to ask them questions and stuff, like how they got that in there going and everything, and they just talked a little bit about how they were site ready. You know, they had a place to go when Panasonic came in and everything, and talked to them and stuff, and they are getting lots of calls, still now that they're getting ready to start up and everything. But they're getting lots of calls of other places wanting to come in, and he said that, any of the counties that had a site-ready place to go, that they would share the information if they could make it work in DeSoto. So I thought that was kind of good, because we all want to keep it in Kansas and everything.
Sure.
And
Right.
So they already have their infrastructure in place, I mean, or
Yes.
somewhat.
yes, yeah, they have
So-
like 9,000 acres, I think, and they're only using like 300 and some, you know, for it. But it's, of course, that they have that ammunition plan or
Right,
whatever. Yeah,
right,
you
it
know.
was.
So it was very interesting to go out there and see it. They took us on a tour and some of the housing projects and things that were going on and stuff. And so anyway, I brought you some information that I thought was kind of neat to see and everything. I know they're a little bit of course, bigger than we are and everything, but it's kind of good. I'm gonna pass it on to Jenny too about like, hey, let's make sure we know, because I know you guys get some flack about buying property and getting things going and stuff, but it's definitely, that was a key for them, so I just want to pass that on to you guys. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now we'll try Coffee County Airport Board 2026 budget request. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning.
Well,
Yes. Here you go, right over here.
thank you.
Put myself a little.
Sleeping this morning.
So sorry.
Well, I'll just go to the 2026 budget request. In the budget request, from the capital outlay, I added a little $500,000 for the replacing our AWAS. In 2026, the FAA, the reason I've done this, we've juggled a few of our projects just because in 2026, the FAA is going to fund 95% of projects. Since it's a little higher dollar project, normally they fund 90% and then it's a 10% local match. So I swapped some stuff around to move that forward, and we've been having a little bit of trouble. It'd be, to replace that would cost basically you guys $25,000, but we have the excess funds, so we don't intend to come to you for that match. So that's why the capital outlay is kind of high. Basically, on the county support, what I'm asking for is $300,000, $20,000 reduction. We do have in our savings, actually money market account, $497,000. $270 of that you guys gave to us about 3 years ago to match on the concrete project around the AWAS, or around the T-hangers, and then I went ahead and applied for a state grant and then got it after the fact. So you guys told me at that time to bank that and use it for future projects. So that's what we're doing with that. Supporting that on the, I believe it's the last page, yeah. It shows our money market account of $333,000. That was as of Friday. I have a $164,000 request from a project we just finished up with the government, with the FAA that's coming in, so that's what brings it up to 490. So it will be up to the 490. So just want you to be aware that it is coming back. I guess if you have any questions for me. I think I threw some stuff together, just it was requested that maybe, since there's some new members on the board, to see some of the projects that we have done since about 2004 or so, with federal grants and state grants. I'll just go down through the list. Our AWAS was in about 2004. That was a $254,000 project. South portion of the ramp, we added $305,000. Parallel taxiway, $1.9 million. Pappies and reels, $263,000. We replaced the north 1/3 of the ramp in front of the building, $630,000. Replaced the runway in 2021, I believe. It was almost $4 million. This was all grant money.
How long's the runway?
5,500 feet. 2 years ago, we done the concrete replace around the T-hangers. We just recently finished taxiway rehab, $450,000. A few of the KDOT grants, we constructed an access taxiway at the south end of the T-hangers, was about $350,000. Done a small crack sealing project on the runway before we replaced it with $106,000. Runway repair and remarking in like 2017 was $233,000. Right now we're putting in a hydraulic door on our big track hanger, and it's supposed to start this week, and that's a state grant. That cost us $10,000 for a $100,000 project. So in all, we've done almost $10 million in projects, and it's cost the county a little over $1 million. So I pursue these to make the burden on you guys less. much, so.
Very good.
And like I tell everybody, I know this is a lot of money when you talk about these projects. The FAA is funding these, and they're gonna fund it whether it goes to Chicago, New York, they're gonna spend the money. So anything we can do to lessen the burden here.
Do you write your own grants on, do you write your own grants?
Our engineering firm helps me
I
a
see,
lot.
I see.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
they keep me out of trouble.
On your list here, it says you're requesting 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the other 20,000? I missed that.
The other 20,000.
Okay, she's got requesting 320,000.
That was last year.
Last year.
Yeah,
This
that's where we're.
is 26.
26 request, yeah.
And you're only requesting 300 this year.
Yes.
All right.
And the 2024 actual, and I've got the last audit report on, I believe it's the second page that we just finished for 2024 that shows those exact numbers. With the excess in funds, we actually, it shows us having about a $45,000 loss in 2024, but that was just the way we done an engine project on a customer's airplane was a little over 100,000, so we really didn't have a $40,000 loss, but the books showed a $40,000 loss, but we did not. So,
So as far, we had discussion earlier, talking about the potential of some commerce or
mhm.
going in there, in addition to SSM. We don't know what yet, but
Sure.
the potential in the future, but, what's planned at the airport shouldn't interfere with any of that.
No, south of SSM, the potential crosswind runway comes out, and I covered all this when SSM was planning where to put their building, and so we should be safe there, but the way the FAA has changed around their funding, I don't believe we'll ever see a crosswind runway, and the need for it's not huge, it's a luxury item, and so, in fact, I talked to the engineers last week, and they said, in your lifetime, you'll never see it, so.
What would that be used for? I'm curious if.
Just if winds are straight out of the west
Oh,
or east,
okay,
just
just
safety.
Just a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
approach or.
Yeah,
takeoff.
it would be,
Okay,
go towards Larry Herman's and then
right, right.
northwest and
Okay,
southeast.
okay.
But I really doubt it'll ever happen. But you make a wish list and go with it. So,
Right.
And as far as the existing runway, you said it's 5,500 feet, I mean, probably gonna stay there, probably
Yeah.
won't be lengthened at all.
I don't think the need for it right now is not. In fact, when we replaced the runway, they wanted to take us back from 5,500 to 4,000 feet, and I was just like, oh, this is going backwards, and
Yeah.
their reasoning was you don't have enough big traffic, the planes have to weigh so much, distance for landing and takeoff, and something else, and you had to meet 2 of the 3 requirements, and so that means a lot of jet traffic, and you don't have that, but as land bid, I'm thinking, wow, we're gonna lose 1,500 for the runway. Ag planes, they weigh, and they take a lot of runway to get off. And I called the FAA the next day and was talking with them, and they're like, well, that don't, these are your rules, and it worked.
Yeah.
You got a 5,500 foot.
They needed every bit of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you'd have to expand, would it go to the north end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any projects out there, then that area needs to be protected somewhat.
A little bit, but, the FAA will not, I'm sure,
Okay.
will not allow us to extend the runway on the work.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
If we wanted to, it would be on the county dime.
And not on FFA?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
All right.
So financially, it would not be in our interest.
So if you talk like the cross runway, I guess that's what you call it.
Crosswind runway.
Probably not very feasible that's ever gonna happen with it. Should that be a consideration? That's a thought that's rolled around in my mind, I think some of the other commissioners too, that we've got a lot of land on the east side of the airport if someone was looking for a project that would, think we'd already leave that for that runway? I mean,
If you use there's a half section on the south, if that was an area that would work for, future development, it would not affect that quarter right across from Larry Herman's. That's where the Crosswind runway.
Okay, okay. Well, I just thought that might be something to have in the back of our mind that,
Yeah.
you know, probably never happened, but if, let's just say something major did come to Coffee
Sure.
County, that might be feasible maybe at that time. You
Yeah.
know, something we don't wanna,
Yeah.
we've got the property now, we don't wanna do something to restrict anything that could be important to the county.
Well, we're excited to see stuff going up out there. I mean, it'll
Yeah,
do nothing but benefit us.
Sure.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
at some juncture.
So the, for SSM, are they using laterals, or what are they using for their water?
What did Carl tell me? Oh, for their water, or for their wastewater?
Wastewater.
It's
Laterals.
it's laterals and in a sand pit or something, I don't,
Sand filtration.
yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
saw quite a ditch angling off there. Is that what that's for?
I went up and mowed some the other day for potential spots for where the sewer's gonna go. And it's a place we had raised 15 years ago when we done some other work. Because there's a lot of rock down there.
Uh-huh.
And that was about the only place they could find. And so-
Okay, so is that all on the property that they bought?
Yes.
Okay,
It is.
okay, I guess basically that was my question.
Yep.
So that's about where their property ends?
Yeah, where if you drive by and see the part that's mowed,
Yeah.
that's what I mowed, was two,
Okay. Okay,
estates they have.
okay, because we got a lot of space between there and the next road.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we're gonna get that road, sounds like, so.
Yeah.
Should have a lot of good space there, we hope,
Yeah.
for potential projects, so, thank
It
you.
would look good with stuff up there.
Sounds like overall that airport's doing fine.
We are our maintenance shop, and I wanted to bring Brandon in, our mechanic, to introduce to you guys, and he's busy, and so, but if we didn't have him, this would be tough for me to come to you every year. So I do whatever I can to take care of him.
So he did, sounds like some pretty substantial work there then?
Oh, yeah. Engine rebuilds, I mean.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Pretty impressive for Coffee County, Kansas. I mean,
he's,
not mine.
we hired him 21 or 22 years ago. He just got out of college. He had worked in Abilene at an airport through college. Been mechanically inclined his whole life, and he's just a good person.
Good.
So
Good,
How
good.
many employees do you have?
Pardon?
How many employees do you have?
5.
5 total?
Yep. Myself, Dan DeWald, who does the bookwork and is also the flight instructor, and then 2 guys that work the line. And so we're there 7 days a week. We run it on a skeleton crew, but so.
You're gonna be around for a while, are you not?
I plan to.
Good.
I plan to. But it's early in the day. You never know. They might get rid of me
No.
this afternoon.
Well, we're a little encouraged when numbers go down.
I know it's
Hard to get
not
along
much
with us.
not much on the big scale thing.
Yeah, right. I don't think it's a lasting trend either.
Well, I can change this.
Wait a minute.
Well, I don't mean with you, I mean with the others that are coming in, because everything costs more.
It does, and things have been going well, and it's hard for me to say we've got $500,000 in the money market. Hey, I need a bunch more money, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Sure.
So,
okay.
and the projects we're gonna do, my intentions are federal funding, as long as it's available, because sometime it'll run out.
Yeah, the concrete around those hangars that really
Oh,
helps.
it's wonderful.
Wow.
Moving snow this winter is
Oh, rather
Great.
gouging the rock or
Yeah.
something, or dirt or whatever.
pushing dirt up.
Yeah,
It's nice.
yes, sir.
Okay, any more questions for me?
I don't have, looks good to me.
Thanks so much.
If you think of anything, let me know, and see if I can think of something to tell you.
All right, thank you, Darren.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Okay, Coffee County Library, 2026 budget request. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought that was one book. I thought.
Listen, we are the library, we can't come without books.
I wouldn't think so.
All right, while those are getting passed out, I will get started. Well, good morning. My name is Debbie Shoemaker, and I am the new administrator for Coffee County Library. As many of you know, I stepped into the role when Mary Davies retired at the end of 2024. Mary's leadership and dedication obviously left big shoes to fill, and I am truly excited for the opportunity to grow into this role and deepen my understanding for public library as I have come from school libraries and the vibrant communities that we serve. With each passing year, I look forward to building strong relationships, supporting our outstanding staff, and ensuring that the library continues to be the cornerstone of learning, connection, and innovation of all Coffee County residents. Economic studies show that libraries play a vital role in building strong, resilient communities. When taxpayers support libraries, they are investing in education, lifelong learning, and civic engagement. The return of this investment is immeasurable, reflected in the countless ways children and adults benefit from our strong library system. At Coffee County Library, we take pride in being responsible with what the taxpayers so generously give. We are committed to nurturing meaningful relationships within our communities and surrounding areas. Thanks to the support of our residents, we are fortunate to maintain excellent library facilities in each of our 6 communities. However, maintaining 6 separate buildings naturally incurs ongoing costs. To help manage these expenses, we take a proactive, cost-effective approach to purchasing supplies wisely and utilizing our in-house maintenance personnel whenever possible. Many of our budget line items, such as utilities, technology, and other contracted services, are dependent on external providers and market rates. As such, we continuously seek innovative ways to reduce costs without sacrificing our service or quality. Each year, our capital outlay spreadsheet is carefully reviewed, updated, and addressed to the best of our ability. We also actively pursue grant opportunities to supplement operational funding and enhance our services. That said, a strong library system is only possible with dedicated, skilled teams. Competitive salaries and benefits are essential to attracting and retaining the excellent employees who bring our mission to life every day. In alignment with the county, we have implemented a 3% cost of living increase for all of our staff. Additionally, we have increased the library paid portion of health insurance for full-time employees, and the upcoming 2026 year, we introduced a flexible spending account benefit for all staff, full-time and part-time, allowing them to contribute pre-tax dollars for medical, elder, and child care expenses. As our library system continues to grow and evolve, we remain focused on serving our patrons in innovative and impactful ways. One example is our Library of Things, which enables patrons to check out household items, party supplies, small tools, and more, broadening access to resources that support learning, creativity, and community connection. Looking to the future, I am excited about the possibilities for Coffee County Library and the continued value we bring to the county and its residents. I look forward to working with local businesses, schools, and individuals to build on the strong foundation that has long kept this community connected and thriving. Though I have not been in this role for very long, I am a longtime resident of Coffee County, and I have seen firsthand just how essential the library is to our citizens. I am committed to ensuring that it continues to grow in impact and importance as our county evolves. If you look at the last 2 pages, I did include several pictures of things that have already gone on since probably spring. Some are ongoing, but several of them are evolving around our summer reading program. And some of those that you're looking at include a KC Foam kickoff party, intergenerational potting and planting flowers, a potato derby, summer lunch program, Milford Nature Center, and Emporia Arts Council, and one of them is a backdrop of our summer reading theme, which is Color Our World, our adult book club, adult child tea parties, fly fishing instruction, tie-dye, and May Day flowers. Those are just a few examples of things that are going on in Coffee County libraries around me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Who does your fly fishing instructions?
I think it was Kyle is his first name. I don't know what
I was just curious.
It was in Gridley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's something I'd like to do.
You said you were doing a summer lunch program. Is that in coordination with the school?
At the Burlington branch, they wrote a grant and got some money to host that. And then we have several volunteers that come in daily and help pack, help distribute. We've also had very generous people drop off items.
You have pretty good, you have a lot of people
Turn out.
turn out for that.
Yes, very large numbers. I think last week alone they said 500.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Would there be any chance of getting the other communities applying for some of those grants?
I know in the past Lebo has done it, but then the school took it over, and so they are doing it in
And
the
that's
school.
what it is in Waverly. I think,
Yeah,
through
several of
school.
the communities, the school already does it.
Burlington School doesn't do it.
Not that I know of, no.
So that's,
That's why Burlington
sure.
Library does it, yeah.
Okay,
That's great.
Yeah,
500, that's,
well.
it's awesome, yeah.
so what age group?
It's, the lunches are for kids, but all ages.
Right, I was
Yeah,
just curious.
all ages.
Yeah.
Yep, lots of little ones, lots of teenagers, lots of, in between.
Right.
When you say 500, that's not daily attendance.
That's a week.
That's
for
for
the
the
week.
whole, the entire week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still pretty awesome, almost
Yeah.
100 kids, yeah.
It's too bad that it's
That
needed,
it has to
but
be
a
that
lot
way.
of those kids,
Yes.
you know, I think, I know people get annoyed with programs, but kids being hungry is
Not something we want to
not
see.
a way
No,
to
that's a good program.
save money.
Yep.
So when they go to the program, the food program, do they stick around the library and explore it a little bit?
Some.
As kids?
Some do. We've had all different. We've had kids come in, pick it up and leave and eat elsewhere. We've had plenty of them stay and eat and then play for a little while. We have a few that, adults that will come and get the lunches and bring them back to the kids. So, yeah. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Are you able to stay fully staffed at all your locations?
We are 100% fully staffed at this time. We had a couple openings within the last couple months, and we were able to fill them. And being new, I wasn't really sure what the pool would be, but very, very impressed at just the quality of people that we were able to interview. And it was a hard choice for the two that we had to, or the three that we had to hire. But yeah, so good things are happening at Coffee County Library, if that means, it's an indication of the quality of people we're hiring.
So your increase that you're requesting, that's pretty much a result of all the things you mentioned before,
It is.
the cost of living, insurance, all
It
these
is.
different things, and you're,
Our insurance, if you notice, went up significantly.
That's all.
everybody.
Yes, that was not a surprise, but it is something that, yes. So that was a large portion.
So it looks like you were at 283,752, and you're requesting 306,890, is that correct?
Yes, I think I figured about a $50,000 increase overall.
Was that on
Oh,
that was on the benefits,
pardon me.
that was on the benefits budget request.
Oh, the total, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
that-
the total, my total budget is about $50,000 more. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because the request for the library budget, not the benefits, was one.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm
Yes,
looking at the
two
wrong
different
page.
ones.
Yeah, about 1.6.
I'm looking at
I'm
the
sorry,
wrong
yes.
page, yeah.
If I figured that up right, it's about a $50,521 increase, which is about 3.25%.
Correct.
Sounds about right?
Okay. Yep,
Sorry, I misunderstood you earlier.
No. I just,
There's two different budget requests in there.
yeah, I just glanced at
We
the
break
top
it down
right
in-
here,
yep.
and it said 2024 on this one, so I thought, no, it's the
Oh,
one
I
back in
apologize,
there.
I did not change, yes, I forgot to change that.
But then I see the years are on there, correct, so my fault.
I see what you're looking at.
No, that was my mistake, sorry about that.
And as we flipped further back through it, I saw that other one.
A lot of pages, a lot of detail.
Lots of pages, lots of pages.
Sounds like you've got a handle on things.
I have great staff,
I'm sure you do.
That's what it takes.
it does.
They can't do it all themselves.
It does.
Well, I don't know. Does everybody think, you got any more questions for us?
How you guys? Good. Or gals, not guys.
We answer you.
Yeah. I don't have any more questions.
Looking at your, salaries and everything,
Mhm.
you may not know this just came in, why was there a 20% cost of living increase in '23?
I believe because we were so far behind what we should be paying. Was that correct? Yes, it was one of those where it was, we were having a hard time actually keeping people because our pay was so low. And they had several years where they either didn't get a raise or they just were not competitive. And so we almost had to make a huge adjustment there.
But if I remember right, at that time, you were having a hard time keeping staff, were you not?
Yes, I think, yeah.
Because that was one of the issues was low wages.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since that time, you've been able to get caught back up.
Yes. And I think when I look across the board, we are pretty competitive. If you look at our starting wage for a library assistant is 14. That's pretty competitive for most, when you look across the board on that.
It's pretty
Yeah.
hard to hire.
For less than that, yes. And that was one of the other reasons why I asked the board to implement the FSA account, because for all employees, part-time and, because part-time, they don't get the medical but that pre-tax dollars can be a huge benefit also, to be able to put a little bit of money away for childcare or
Right.
in the next few weeks, you guys need to drive by the libraries because we're all getting new signs up. I'm so excited to see them roll up. But yeah, we're all getting new signage out front and stuff. I have to drive by and see it.
I know the libraries are well used. At least for Waverly, I know they are. It's a good asset to have.
I came from an elementary library for 12 years, and so obviously they don't have a choice whether they use the library or not. They come and go
Right.
with their classrooms. But it was really impressive to see just how much our libraries interact with each of their schools. Being in small communities,
Right.
a lot of their schools don't have adequate libraries, and so just stepping into that role as a community library and filling that role is huge
It is.
for those
Oh, it
kids.
is.
And for a lot of the after-school kids, it becomes a home
Sure.
away.
I don't have anything else to ask.
Is there anything else for them? Okay.
No?
Thank
Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great day.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Lots of people here. Skipping one? Okay. CASA, Jamie Needham, 2026 budget request. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I have a little presentation. I'm not sure if that's what you want, or do you just ask me questions?
we'd just like to get some information from you of what's going on and
Sure.
what your needs are.
Okay. So I'm with CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocate. We are a nonprofit organization that provides community volunteers to children who have been abused or neglected and are in the foster care system. We work with 4 counties in the 4th Judicial District, Anderson, Coffee, Franklin, and Osage. Let's see. Right now, we have 8 children in Coffee County that are in foster care. CASA is currently working with 4 of those kids. The other 4 children are on our wait list. And these are all kids that are in the welfare system, you know, through no fault of their own. Our volunteers provide a consistent voice for the kids in foster care. We have children who get into the system and they spend years there, especially older children who don't really have adoptive resources. Our volunteers commit to them, they stay with them through case management changes, through placement changes. It's pretty often that our volunteers are the only consistent figure in these kids' lives. And our goal is to provide an advocate volunteer for every child in the foster care system that we can. So we are asking for $20,000 from Coffee County right now to help us with this goal. It costs around $5,000 per child per year to support them with the advocacy services that we provide, and $20,000 would help us with the 4 kids that are on our wait list right now.
So you've got eight children from Coffee County right now?
Right now there are 8 children in Coffee County that are in foster care and out-of-home placement. So that's a pretty low number, but still we want to reach all of them.
Sure.
So, and the volunteer that we have working with the 4 kids that we do have actually lives in Baldwin City. We are working to raise awareness here in Coffee County so that we can recruit volunteers from this community to serve their own children. So, I've been with CASA for 2 years. We are working on building the program here. We have 2 board members from Coffee County. When I started, all of our board members were from Franklin County. But I have 2 Coffee County members in place, Mike Roney and Brittany Hawkins, both fantastic. We have started a few new fundraisers in town. We've joined the Coffee County Chamber of Commerce. Is there a specific? Never mind. I'll ask her later. We've joined a couple of different community groups in this community as well. I'm really excited about it. I feel like we're growing, and I really think that we're going to continue to realize that the need is probably bigger than we know right now, and if I can get the volunteers in place, we'll be able to really help these kids.
So what 4 counties? Franklin, Osage, Coffee, and
Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are a proven program. There've been a lot of surveys done across the nation about foster children, specifically related to CASA and children. It's been shown that children in foster care who have a CASA volunteer are more likely to find a safe and permanent home faster. They do better in school. They don't fall through the cracks as much as children who don't have a volunteer. And then they also have fewer future interactions with the court system down the road. And I can give you a real quick example of real life. We had a volunteer appointed to a child who had been in the system for 8 years. He was a teenager. On her first visit with the kiddo, she found out that he wanted to be a truck driver. He didn't have a driver's license. He was 17 years old. And the reason was because he had had 12 different case managers in the 8 years that he had spent in foster care. all that he asked, help me get the documentations that I need. I need my birth certificate and my social security card. And because of the change in case management, that priority just kept getting pushed to the bottom of the list. Our volunteer, as soon as she met him, she started the process. We got the birth certificate, we got the social security card. She got him enrolled in DECA's We Can Drive program within 2 months of knowing this child. Through her continued visits with this kiddo, she learned that he wanted to go to church. The group home that he was in didn't provide transportation services, so she found a church that did. Started picking him up and taking him to church on a regular basis. She learned that he was really failing at math, something you'd think the group home would be aware of, but they weren't. And so she found him a tutor, and then the most incredible thing she learned was that there was a family member out there in this child's life who the state had overlooked. So she started talking to this family member, found out that this person also would like to be reunited with the child, and after spending half of his year in foster care, long story short, he moved in with her last Wednesday. He's done with foster care. He's out of the system. He's been adopted by this wonderful woman who really should have been there his whole life, but she just didn't know that the need was there. So, I'm kind of going all over the place. I'm sorry.
curious, what age, you said in Colby County there's 8 children?
Yes.
What age range is there, I mean, or is that something you can?
Yeah, I can tell you that. The youngest child that we have, I can tell you about the children that we're working with. The youngest child that we have is going into 2nd grade. The oldest child that we have is going into his junior year of high school.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
All school age.
Yeah, all school ages. Across the district, the four counties, the youngest child I have is 3 months old.
Wow.
And then the oldest child is 19. He's still in the system. He'll probably be released because he'll be released probably before his 20th birthday. So
you've talked a lot about all your volunteers.
yes.
CASA have permanent employees also.
So for the last 2 years, I've been the only employee. Just within the last 3 months, I was able to hire a part-time volunteer coordinator. So I was told by the Office of Judicial Administration that in order to take on more children, I had to hire somebody, and I feel like we owe it to the community to serve as many children as we can. So I have been trying to raise money as fast as I can so that I can keep her in place so that we can continue to serve more kids. At the time that I hired her, I was maxed out at 15 kids. Now that I have Kate on board, we can serve an additional 15. So finding volunteers for these 4 kids here in Coffee County hopefully should not take too long. It's a difficult volunteer position, but I find that the people who are interested in it are truly committed and they stick around and they really change these kids' lives. So, yeah.
So where's your home office at? I mean, where's your home base at?
So I am an Osage County resident.
Okay.
My office is in Franklin County, but I visit all 4 communities on a regular basis.
Okay.
So the only county that I don't have board members from right now is Anderson County. But Judge Reynolds is helping me figure out some people that we can talk to about that. So
It's really hard getting good volunteers.
it is so hard, but once we get them, they are incredible. So yeah, yeah. So many cards. That's what we do. We work with these kids. We keep them from falling through the cracks. The children here in Coffee County, my volunteer has been working so many hours. They're in the process of being adopted, which is fantastic. She has made sure that they're brand new case managers, because in the 1 year that she's been on this case with these children, they've had 3 sets of new case managers, and she has been the one to train them to say this is what's going on. So her existence in their life has made this process a little bit shorter, just because they haven't had to completely start over from scratch. So it's been a good thing. So, do you have any questions?
So you haven't had any county support from Coffee County prior to this?
I can tell by the records that we did have county support in the past. We haven't in the 2 years that I've been here, and that's probably been my fault because I'm still learning.
So you're 2 years into the job, is
Yes,
that correct?
and I finally feel like I know what I'm doing. It's been a hard
I'm sure it's a learning process.
Yeah, it really is.
On the job training, not
Yeah.
not really, I mean, you're training, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it's a difficult job. When I was hired, CASA started for the 4th Judicial District in 2012. And when I was hired in 2023, I was the 8th, I think I was the 8th director in 10 years. So they really go through, they went through them quite a bit. But I have a real vision for what I want to see happen here. I have a lot of passion for these kids, and I plan to stick around, so.
Good.
Yeah. I will tell you that my treasurer passed away a couple of months ago, so I have been without a treasurer. Brittany Hawkins, who I don't know if you guys know, she's from this community. She has been helping me a little bit with the treasurer part, but it's definitely not her job. I'm looking for a new treasurer, but if you have questions about the budget, I'm happy to answer them the best I can. I feel a little, since I don't have a treasurer right now, I feel like I might falter a little bit, but I can definitely get you the answers if I can't answer them right now.
Okay.
Very good.
But we do keep our budget pretty minimum. The funding that we receive goes towards the recruitment costs, the training costs, and the screening costs. It costs quite a bit to do all of the backgrounds that we run. If there's a background for it, we do run it. We make sure that the volunteers we have are safe people.
So is this a state-funded project, or how has it been funded?
So, a lot of grants. I'm trying to get away from grants. I don't know if you guys heard about the National CASA losing their funding, their federal funding. Grants are so fickle. They kind of scare me. So I'm working really hard to establish fundraisers. I'm working hard to have partnerships with the communities that we're in. We do get funding from the other 3 counties that we work with.
Yeah, and I'm not questioning your request, but I'm not so sure that I would get away from grants.
No, I'm definitely not. I just don't want to rely on grants. I guess that's
Sure.
what I'm saying.
Sure.
I don't want to fund my new volunteer coordinator's position solely on a federal grant because
it
could
could
go
go away.
like that.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I want there to be a nice cushion.
Sure.
So
So your total budget's is $117,000?
yes,
That's all the money you have to work with?
yes, yes. Two salaries, and then the money that we need to run the background and training is pretty much what we spend our money on. Other needs that we have, I look to the community. Last year we adopted 24 kids for Christmas, and CASA didn't have to spend a cent. We were able to get their wish lists out into the community, and it was amazing. They came back to us with presents for these kids. Yeah, so we have a good community. This community is incredible. You came to our bingo, and we raised $4,000 in one night here alone in Burlington. It's the biggest fundraiser we've had since I've been on staff. So it was incredible. This is an incredible community.
Well, you provide a good service. Keep it up.
I think so. Thank you. Thank you. I'm proud of what this organization does.
Anything we can do for young people, we turn around and end up spending the money in the courts if we
That's-
don't try to do something.
That's exactly right.
In our, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
in the jail and everywhere else.
yeah, I really do see it as a investment in the future. These kids, if they get put on the right path, will stay on the right path, but, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anybody have any questions, other questions?
No? Okay.
Do you have any upcoming events planned?
We do. We have a motorcycle ride coming up in October. It's going to be a 4-county ride so that we can involve all of us.
Overrun.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never done one of those, so I'm excited to see what it's like.
They're kind of fun.
Good, I hope so. Since you have a bike, I'll send you information. Okay.
Willing to learn.
Mike Roney is already working on our next Halloween bingo. It's going to be, I think it's October 25th. It's the Saturday before Halloween.
Country club again?
I think so. He was telling me that location might change, but he really thinks it's going to be at the country club. But yeah, he's already working on that. And then I have another big fundraiser that I'm working on in Franklin County, which is a jingle jog. I'm inviting everyone to come and dress up like Santa Claus and run down Main Street. So, one of the things I really believe in is creating opportunities for children and families to do something fun. So we don't charge for any of the activities that we plan. We accept donations, but I don't make these families pay to run in our events or anything like that. I think it's good to create events and opportunities for enjoyment and positive moments for families. So that's one of the big things about Jingle Jog that I'm excited about. So, but yeah, those are the big events that we have in the works.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, do you want to take a break?
Might be kind of interesting to see Steve in Santa Claus.
I'd rather be on a bike.
Right.
Santa Claus. Right.
Want to take a break?
Sure.
Okay, let's come back at 10:08. Well, it's 10:08, back in, so I guess we'll go to Tourism and Visitors Board recommendations, Economic Development Director Jenny Tatman with department update also.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. So I had sent over to Angie the letter, the recommendation for 2026 transient guest tax expenditures. Did you guys get that, or I made more copies?
We do.
Okay. Okay. So we did have a full meeting with our Tourism and Visitors Board. So we had all 5 people showed up, including Mark came, which was great because you have a little bit of experience. It was my first meeting with the board, and everybody else was brand new. So we spent a little bit of time just talking about what the board is, what it does. I think some of our community members are very excited and interested to help in any way they can related to tourism in our county. So our first step was creating the recommendations for expenditures for the Transient Guest Tax Fund. And as you can see in there, you guys have the letter, but really the 3 areas that the board believes that the fund should be used for expenditures is local and regional tourism and marketing promotion, community event support, and other activities that have a direct positive impact on tourism. So they kind of purposely left it vague. They have some other ideas for recommendations, but they see those as three key ways that they think we could support tourism in Coffee County.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys need to like move to approve that, or if we just give you that recommendation and go from there.
No, if it requires action, does
I
it?
wasn't sure what the rules.
I think just sounds good.
Okay.
Basically, we just met to figure out how to expend the bed tax money.
Yes.
Right.
That's essentially what it is, and that's.
Okay. Well, that sure sounds feasible to me. I don't know if we need anything beyond that, a head nod, I guess, or whatever.
Okay. And they are interested to meet again just to talk more, and I told them that's fine if they want to come together and throw out some more ideas, or even just give me input on things that they want. So.
You got some good, interested board.
Yes,
right
they
now.
want to be very active, so that's.
Good.
That's, I told them that's helpful to me if we're looking at.
That sounds okay to everybody then?
It does.
Okay.
So the bed tax is collected and where does it,
It's from the hotels.
right, but
Yeah,
where does
so-
it go to then?
So
Does it-
quarterly, there is a transient guest tax fund.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
that fund is, as I was told, is overseen by the Economic Development
Okay,
Office.
okay, and then you,
Can approve
Spend
expenditure.
Spend it.
spend,
Right.
spend it and how you see that, and that's what you're asking.
Yes,
Okay, I understand.
yeah, just make sure that it sounds good to you guys for ways to spend
I didn't
that.
mean to stutter, I just couldn't figure out where
Right,
money
it is
was
a
going
little-
to. But it's under it's under your care then.
Right, it's not a line item in our budget,
Right.
but it is sort of, I think traditionally it's been overseen by our department.
Will we get a line item if it's done as a transient tax, so you can keep it separate from everything else?
Yeah, so it's not, like, we didn't put that into our economic
Okay.
development budget, but we have, like, Rhonda keeps track of all the information from the fund as we get it from the state.
Okay.
All right,
I
anything?
was trying to remember, does that resolution indicate whether there's a line item or not? I can't remember.
It's
Yeah, 'cause
pretty
that-
open. I can go back and look at the resolution again. I mean, the language is pretty, like, very
I
specific.
mean, the county passed a resolution years ago, establishing that and then, I think directing how the funds will be spent or
Okay.
that other thing.
Right. And it's currently 3% transient guest bed tax from, it's for hotels or any establishments, I believe we said over 2 bedrooms spending less than 28 days, consecutive days, so.
It could be as much as 5%, but it's been 3%
Sure.
ever since it started.
Cool. Any other questions with the Tourism Visitors Board? Okay.
Sounds fine. Glad we've got active people involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
I think it's good.
Mark, you say it's gonna be, I mean,
Yeah,
you've got a full board now.
yeah, it's a good board, they're interested, have a lot of ideas. and-
Good.
Yep.
Good.
I've already got some follow-up emails.
Exciting.
So, yeah,
Good.
it's good.
Good.
A couple other updates that I had, I've been staying busy, but I'll just give you kind of the short for economic development. I have had, since Dr. Doherty from Flint Hills Tech College came and presented to the commissioners, I have had a meeting with her since then, and we've had a couple emails back and forth. So there is, I believe a few years ago, there was some interest in creating some programming for Flint Hills Technical College here in Burlington. Sounds like there may still be an interest. I'm just kind of talking to her to see what that interest is, what they're thinking, and what type of programs. It sounds like it might be more like short-term programs, so like CDL licensing, short-term technology programs, nursing, possibly even construction. So they're thinking not like year or multi-year programs, but like some programs that could be months or even days to get a very specific certification. So just want to let you know we may meet again over the summer to just talk about what the interest is there. Been attending a lot of other meetings the last couple months. I attended the Network for Change conference in Wichita. That's Network Kansas. They're a nonprofit organization that works with small businesses. There was a lot of other economic development directors that I got to talk with, and They have a lot of different programs about different things going on, so I did attend that. I've been meeting with some other area EcoDevo directors, from Labette County, Osage County, Anderson County, so I'm continuing to just try to do some one-on-one meetings to see what other counties have going on. And I also attended Southeast Kansas Regional Planning Commission. I've been attending their board meetings, and then they had their annual meeting last week. They've been talking a lot about the Safe Streets for All program, and I think they sent you some of their information. There's a safety action plan, so I think Ryan had followed up with that one. But they did also send you the information. Their team, I guess, has been pretty busy. They've got 2 grant writers now. They've been doing a lot of CDBG and other infrastructure grants, and they're doing a lot of administration. They even assisted someone in Leroy with a HEAL grant that was awarded recently, so they helped write that. And they're doing a lot of work. They have a revolving loan fund as well, so they work directly with businesses on that. A couple of things upcoming that I've got. Next week, I'll be attending the first Connecting Entrepreneurial Communities Conference in Kingman, and I think that'll be kind of neat because they really focus on rural small business, and Kingman is interesting because it's about exactly the same size as Burlington, and they've had a lot of new businesses coming in the last couple of years. They've been supporting local people that want to start businesses, especially in their downtown. So I think it'll be interesting to see. I know our chamber director is going to that as well, so good. I think it'll be good. And then also, along with Team Kansas, they are doing an event next month. It's in Atlanta, but it's a Advanced Manufacturing Site Selectors event. They did invite me to that one. It's a one-day. It would be like a quick down and back to Atlanta. But it could potentially put us in front of some site selectors for manufacturing that could be interested in Kansas. If you want, I can send you what the I've kind of looked at what the cost would be for me to attend that. We do have the funds in our economic development travel budget, so we haven't hardly spent any of that.
And when is that, Jenny? When is that?
July 23rd. So I've been putting together also some one-pagers and things that I might be able to take with me if I go to these kind of events. Still kind of a work in progress, but some of these, you may be put in front of some of these site selectors, and you may only have, a couple minutes to talk to them, but then hopefully if there's interest, there would be some follow-up.
I think it'd be worthwhile sending her to that if she needs our approval.
Oh, I do too.
Just to get us out there, or maybe we can get
I do
anybody
too.
to know what we've got. We've got so much that needs to be taken care of.
Well, I think it'd be good for us, and I think it'd be good for Jenny just to get,
To network with people.
yeah.
Right, and also I think there's some bigger economic development directors will be there. I was looking at the list from Manhattan and some other places. I think, like you said, it would be really good to kind of see what their pitches are as well.
Yeah.
So, I was looking at that one. And you guys can keep those if there's any feedback on that. Like I said, it's still kind of a work in progress, so just let me know. Couple other things. I did submit a letter of interest for a Patterson Foundation grant for a trails project. I think I had mentioned that to you guys. We haven't been invited to apply yet, but we did submit the letter, and I know the city of Gridley is interested in working with us on that one. So I'll keep you posted if we're invited to actually apply. And then we did, last week, submit a signs grant application for Department of Commerce on behalf of 4 downtown businesses. So that grant, if we're awarded, would be for new signage on those businesses here in downtown Burlington. Department of Commerce would pay 80% of the new signs, and there is a 20% match. But the sign estimates I got from COFEL, each of the signs was less than $5,000. So if EcoDevo pitched in the other 20%, it would be less than $1,000 per sign. Most of them, it was around $500. So I figured that was a good investment since Commerce would pay 80% of them. So So I'll let you know if we get that grant.
Okay, good.
The only other thing I had is, I know you guys were having me look into a water project out at Highway 75 and 20th Road. I have been talking with Chris Withers for Rural Water District 3 on that. We've got a work order for what engineering would cost to look at water at the site, but it was recommended that we hold off on that because we are right in the middle of the county water study, so there may be some overlap there. I didn't want to ask you guys to pay for something we might already be paying for.
Sure.
So we're hoping the county water study will be done by estimated end of July. So that's not that far off. I think we should look at that and then see what we want to do with this other work order. So that was it. You guys have anything for me? Okay, I told you I could be quick.
No, I hear your name around, so.
Hopefully good.
You're causing conversation, so you're working on your job, so
Good.
thank you.
Well,
Gee, there was some talk about you guys, might have been Rhonda that shared with us, the signage at the airport that is weather faded and everything. You might want to talk with maybe Saban or something, if that sign is going to come out with the new entrance to the road.
Right. I did ask him about that, and
Okay.
their engineer was saying, I think it was from Kilo Construction, that
Right.
it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
That sign should be able to stay there, which is why we did go ahead and pay to have it
Okay.
redone, because I know that one weathers pretty quickly.
We may have a turning area there or something, so
Yeah.
maybe it'll come around it or something like that. So.
Yeah. So at this time, they were saying it wouldn't, the construction wouldn't affect that. I'll let you know if that changes.
All right.
So, cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. That was all I had
Okay.
for today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good update.
Yeah.
Okay. Road and Bridge Superintendent Ryan Durst, Department Update. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
How's everyone?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Doing all right. So we've got a few motions and one resolution today. So the first thing is just, the first motion is just to hire a vacant position we have on our asphalt crew, equipment operator position. Just getting permission to fill that.
Why is it vacant?
That was Ken Woods, he passed away here a few weeks back, so just filling his position.
Okay.
Okay. Say I'll move based upon the recommendation of the Road and Bridge Superintendent to hire one heavy equipment operator. This request will fill a current vacant position within the department. Second it.
Been moved by Peterson, second by Avendroth. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next, just got a resolution commencing for a road vacation. It'll be Forster Road down on Fifth Road. Dead end road down there. That basically same landowner owns on both sides of the road, so he's requested a quarter-mile road to be closed, and that road just dead ends into a watershed down there. It's not the best map, but so basically this resolution will just commence and get the proceedings started. You guys just need to decide on a date for a public hearing. Needs to publish at least once in the paper, and then we'll come back and at the hearing and we'll declare.
Yeah, we've talked about this prior for some time now. It's in my district there, and there's no reason for it to not stop there. I mean,
The county has no need to have that road open down there.
What are the structures that are down there by the watershed?
Structures?
Yeah.
There's nothing. Well, that guy's got a cabin or something down there. The guy that's requesting this to be closed.
Okay.
So, I
But he's
mean,
not gonna come back after it washes out and everything and wanting it reopened?
no.
He's wanting to close it.
Yeah, he wants it closed.
So does he want to make it a private drive?
I mean, yeah, essentially, that's what it is now. I mean, essentially, you know, it goes down there to nowhere, the turnaround's in that driveway to that, to this cabin he's got in there.
Yeah, I'd say it's, probably wants to, I'm guessing, put a gate across.
Yeah,
there.
that's what he'll do. He'll wind up putting a gate up there at the quarter-mile line.
Taking trash or whatever the situation may be.
So does the county own this piece of property that the road's currently on?
Well, the county doesn't.
Right away.
Yeah, it's just,
Okay.
it's right away. It's
Okay.
just road right away.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Motion to approve resolution number 2025-949, a resolution commencing proceedings to vacate certain portions of Fifth Road, beginning 1/4 mile east of Blackbird Road, continuing east approximately 1/4 mile to the end of the traveled way. Also
I'll second.
moved by Thompson, seconded by McCreary. Any further discussion?
Do we need to establish an effective date that it's closed?
Do we go ahead and make the motion first and then?
Yeah, we just need to do this, and then, when this publishes in the paper, you can just fill out the date that that hearing will be. So like I said, it needs to publish at least once for this one, but I would set it up for a couple weeks. A couple Mondays from now, at, 10 o'clock's when you usually do them, I think, or,
Yeah, I think that's right.
and do that, and then there'll be another resolution that day that will declare and close the road at that point.
At that
Yeah,
time.
yes, this is just this one here just
Preliminary?
gets the proceedings started so we can publish it and work through it.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Courthouse asphalt project, so, we've got contracts for that, but, so just kind of an update. Those bid numbers come in at just right under 75,000. So right now, I've got a verbal from Craig Marshall on, a portion of this street on the south is the schools. So, their portion on that is $9,955. So he's kind of giving me the verbal. He's talked to the board. There's no issues with any of that. So, they will be paying that portion, of that.
To come off of the 75.
So that'll come off of, that'll come off of 75.
Okay.
And then I think there's maybe some funds, contingency funds left from the jail project. Is that right, Wade? Yep. That'll also be a part of this too, so that'll bring that number down a little more. One thing that wasn't in this contract is some concrete work on these street approaches. So the city's gonna take care, they'll take care of paying for that
Okay.
portion of it. So, that's gonna be somewhere around $12,000 to $15,000, I think, on both of those approaches, on tearing out, putting some curbing, guttering back in.
And the city will take care
But
of
then
it.
the city's gonna take care of that. Kinda got the verbal with, Mark Davidson on that, so.
Which today's his last day?
Yeah, I knew today was his last day, so he said he would pass that information on, but no. But yeah, so that's, just kind of an update on what's going on there. So I know they'll have to get that concrete work done first, probably before the asphalt starts in here. So, I would anticipate, they'll probably shut down one of them access points at some point, to do that concrete work.
Yeah.
So with
Okay.
that, my next motion is just signing the contract with Kilo Construction for the work.
Okay, I'll make a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign contract documents with Kilo Construction for hot mix project number A 2503-C. Second. Barker seconds. Any further discussion?
Ryan, this project here, does that entail the parking area across the street also?
It does, that's part of this project.
Okay.
There could possibly be a small change order over there. I know there's 6 inches of asphalt going back in. That concrete's probably 8 to 10 inches thick. So, we may have to provide a little rock to put in there and build that back up, for that 6 inches. But, Kilo's still looking at that. I'm not anticipating it, but just a hedge out there could possibly be something.
And you just happen to know where you can get some rock, right?
Well, I might know where there's a little bit of rock.
And how to get it here.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right.
That's what I had. You guys have anything?
How the roads going?
I mean, they're still a mess. We're getting them fixed up. You know, we're still hauling rock and getting some stuff repaired and,
Took 2 steps forward and the rain steps.
yeah, I mean, I know, you know, at least that, you know, up north they had that heavier rain after the kind of the first big rain event, so yeah, definitely rewashed some of them roads up in there. They had, I heard, like 2.5 inches, 270 on, you know, after the big rains that we had, so, but yeah, we're working through that and keep whittling away at it. I mean, it just takes time to get them all covered. You know, we try to get them safe relatively fast, and then we'll go back and fix some of the bigger spots.
I've seen a lot of activity out there, so you guys are
Yeah.
getting after it. I know you had some cleaned up, and
Yeah.
I hope tonight we don't end up with a
Well, that's
situation.
it this time of year. A lot of times, you know, I can remember back in 19, I know we fixed a whole bunch of stuff in like a week's time, and then a week later, you know, another flood hit and heavy rains and washed out everything been fixed and start all over. But that's
Yeah, fresh work is not very conducive
No,
to
it's-
high
it's-
water.
no, it's not.
That doesn't work very
it's
good.
not. So
See, Topeka was talking about some pretty heavy rains potentially again tomorrow.
yeah, that's what I heard. I was trying not to ignore that, but thank you.
Hope they're wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Can you update Wayne down on 50 with the cones that are in the road? From the intersection going into Waverly, going up the hill by the trestle.
Oh, yeah, so, there's some erosion issues over there along 50. You know, we went out, and I knew there'd been some erosion there with these last rains. You know, it's getting to the point it's becoming a safety issue along the road
They're on
there.
the north side.
Yeah, so we, went up there, we put some cones up just to bring some awareness to that, and, getting ready to touch base with the landowner up there and just, start some discussions on moving forward with getting that fixed. You know, we've done some work there in the past, and, you know, it's, washed out again, so have some conversations and,
A lot of water comes down that.
yeah, it does. You know, I know, you know, that ditch gets sprayed some, so I think that probably, doesn't help with some of the erosion stuff, so, getting ready to have some initial conversations and, you know, have an update on that sometime probably.
Okay.
Yeah, they're at that corner at, Shetland, going south. I see you blacked that or.
We're patching it.
Or patching
Yeah,
it.
that's gonna be chip sealed here.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 more weeks of patching. And then we've got all our roads that we're gonna reseal this summer. We'll start probably around July 4th week. Start on that, transition over to that.
And then north of the old Stewart Station.
Yeah.
I see you fixed that,
They patched on that,
Yeah.
that crossroads that we replaced last year.
yeah,
was getting old roads,
that helped a
so.
lot.
So yeah, you know, we'll patch everything we're gonna chip this summer, go to chipping and fog seal, and then we'll come back to patching on other roads that we're not gonna seal up this year. So, all right.
Thanks, sir.
All right, appreciate it. You guys have a good
All
week.
right, Thank you. So we have other people that need to be here for the law enforcement update, right?
Yep.
Okay. Work on some other items.
Take one, pass it around.
Wait, did you get all moved in?
Sort of.
still some stuff across the hall, but a lot closer. So what I just had passed around last week, you had asked for a detailed map related to the irrigation on the new detention center side that ties to the lawn irrigation proposal. The second thing that I handed out was an invoice from Schellers, who had proactively installed sleeves under the parking lot and sidewalks leading to the new detention center. And that decision had to be made in advance because they were on the eve of putting down asphalt and rock. And if it was going to happen, it needed to happen then because the cost would increase significantly if you had to do it after those things had been done. So the invoice is the invoice.
Okay.
I couldn't wait to make that decision. I had to make a call. But the other is the map, or the diagram that you had asked for.
Oh, of that irrigation.
Of the irrigation, correct.
What was it? Didn't we have a bid on that?
Yes.
What was that bid?
I didn't print it.
Yeah, that's.
And as you probably observed, now there's dirt in the what was just an open hole last week, filling that in. So
Yeah.
the quote includes going in and setting up, as the quote indicates, a 6-zone lawn sprinkler system, and it would be connected to the existing system. If you look at the map, on the very left-hand side is the existing building and where the main controller is for the current irrigation system and how it would run across. To the west goes under the sidewalk, under the drive, and into the new area, I guess is the way to put it. And I don't know how many different heads, but if you look, you can zoom in. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, obviously it's a cost. You had mentioned what I call curb appeal last week. To go ahead and get it set up.
I think we should move forward on it. You
Well,
have a
we can-
multi-million-dollar facility here, and you don't want to have cockleburrs and stick taps.
Yeah,
You're right.
I agree.
So once this is done, then we would do sod. I mean, that's.
I don't know what exactly, and I asked Mike Skillman last week if they were putting in the dirt, whether it was seed or sod, and he didn't know, so we can ask Cole.
Paul told me it was seeded.
Seeded,
Seeded, covered, you know.
so they'd seed, they'd work the grounds, the irrigation would be in there,
Correct.
and then they would come in, work the ground, seed and cover with straw or whatever.
Yes, sir. That's what I asked Paul.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm agreed, Todd. I think it
I
should be
think
done.
we're gonna see, we probably better be moving on to get the grass up again, so we don't, summer's coming here and it's tough on seeded grass.
Oh, it is, it is.
So, to get it in there and get it up,
Yeah.
where the water can take care of it.
Yeah.
They'll be the experts on that, but
Right.
hard to see during the summer.
What is?
So this one's what I call, unique. You could potentially get somebody else to come and deal with this, but Shellers is who is tied to the existing irrigation system. And if you brought somebody else in to add, then you create potential incompatibility issues. Shellers has served the county in this capacity for years, is my understanding. Yeah.
It's possible if someone else attaches it to it, they may avoid any warranty they got to it also.
I think we need to stay with the people that we've got. They're familiar with our setup.
Sit there, goose around, and open up the mailbox Friday or whatever it was, I think it's Friday.
You probably need to do this so you can work on a review of a copy.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a member, you know, you can't relate first on the phone, it comes up, oh, yeah, I gotta remember to do that. Yep. Yep.
Probably needs to just say a motion to approve the quote from Shellers dated May 30th to install this paragraph here. And then the amount.
And Wade will need to sign it? Or who needs to sign it?
I think having him sign it is fine since there's gonna be a motion.
Are any of these amounts coming out of contingency?
Not that. I don't think there's an irrigation.
Or where are we proposing to take the funds from?
It would likely be,
Community.
well, courthouse, general. I don't remember where it came from. The last one. So the last irrigation came from courthouse general. I think there's a specific line item that is under courthouse general that ties to the building.
I was thinking Andy said the one she took it out wasn't listed on her sheet.
Yeah, they're not.
Last time.
Okay. Line items under general. They're not on the sheet.
Yeah, she said it wasn't listed.
It's not, you're right.
What was it we were talking about the other day for the roof? It's the courthouse general, you know what I'm talking about?
Without that, fixed it.
No, I know, but what that line item is on the courthouse general.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well, blank.
You say courthouse general, is that where?
Yeah, it's courthouse general.
Describe it good enough.
Valve specific.
Building maintenance.
Yeah.
Building maintenance, you said.
I think it's our building maintenance, correct, general building maintenance. I'm holding to it.
Lori did all those there. Lori and Hi, Barbara.
Okay, motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the lawn irrigation proposal from Sheller's Incorporated dated 5/30/2025 to install a 6-zone lawn sprinkler system for the entire lawn in front of the detention center to be connected to the existing system for the courthouse in the amount of $11,222.39 with funds to come from courthouse general building maintenance. Sound okay?
Can we find out where we took the money from on this other project and take it from the same place?
Yep.
Do you think it might be a different place?
It could be, if there's a way you can look up, do a search for scenic landscapes or, I think if you just look up Shellers, you might get all the invoices that show up for Shellers, but scenic landscapes, it came from the same place.
Let me see if Jeff can look it up.
Okay.
And I agree with you, I'd rather you do that now than have to come back
Redo
and
it.
make a motion to revise next week.
And since this is a new installation, it's not, to me, it's not really maintenance.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Wait, did you get that email I sent you?
I don't know why I print it that way, but.
You want to pass them around while we?
Gonna have to get your bifocals to zoom in on that.
I have to take my glasses off to read that.
Sure might make it tough.
Baseball.
Oh, okay.
And what I just had handed around is the proposal to deal with and address the roof issue at Marybell's. On the one, on the east side.
Building?
This one's been.
So, does that get it 18 inches, get it all the way down?
It'll take care of it so they can finish the roof. Get it done.
Okay, good. It just looks taller than that in the pictures.
Yes. Of course, it's one of those deals you won't know until you open it up and.
Right.
Surprise. Yeah. It normally works, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, the best laid plans can.
Turn into the worst.
Okay, so she said it's courthouse general, and it's janitor, maintenance department, and landscaping line item.
You asked.
Okay.
You wanna
I think if there's money in there.
Print that on there because I can't repeat that.
You need it to read, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can blow it up big enough on here, I can read it without my reading glasses. Okay. I guess I probably won't read that whole motion again, but the amount of $11,222.39 with funds to come from courthouse general, janitorial/maintenance, landscaping line item.
I'll move.
Okay, I'll move, McCurry's moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, Barker seconded it. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. There it is. Too many papers today. I guess everybody here we need for our meeting.
Is anybody else engaged coming? Or just Joe?
Okay, so I guess we'll move on to River City, Joe Seymour and Gabe Rodriguez, Law Enforcement Center update, Phase 2 discussion. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. I'll start with a little update. As of last week, we were moving in, or I believe everybody's pretty well moved in, minus, I think they're moving some file cabinets or something this morning, but pretty well moved in. Fire marshal walk went good. There was a few outlet covers. There was a door that the closer needed to be sped up on a stairwell. Some fire cough that we touched up while she was there. Pretty minimal items. All of those were responded to her information she sent and passed back along to the state for their review of the completed items. But that fire marshal inspection was for a partial occupancy of the admin areas in the kitchen with the jail area, the cells, the pods, booking area, and exam to follow. It is pending. They're troubleshooting a smoke control panel for the smoke evacuation system for the ductwork. They're working through that. Should be in pretty good shape this week. And barring that final completion certificate from Siemens, the fire marshal does not need to come back. She said with that report, she'll be good to go. And they're well on their way into that. So just a couple troubleshooting items we were not quite expecting, and that's the reason for the partial. But got our substantial completion for the partial, the admin area and kitchen as well from GGA. And we are lacking the touch-up paint, which we'll get them in there. We'll kind of schedule with you all how we need to. I think, like I said, with everybody moved in, we'll touch up items that any damage from move-in as well, and move forward. But those areas will hopefully be wiping our hands clean, minus any warranty if needed. But
Did we get the elevator issue taken care of?
both elevators are working.
Is it simple or?
The one was, the rails were too tight, and I think the north one was a computer module or something in the elevator itself went out for some reason, but the service guy fixed that one, and haven't had him back for that yet.
Somebody stuck inside here.
Correct. No one has been stuck inside,
That's not a good situation.
but the calls do call out, but both of them are working.
Morning, my name is Joe Seymour, Vice President for River City Construction. So what you guys have in front of you is a breakdown for GMP number 2. This is for the courthouse renovation. And what I'll do is I'll kind of walk you through what you'll have in front of you. So this is going to be the breakdown for all the costs of the construction. And this will have all the breakdown costs of all the different bid packages of the construction costs. And that's the first page. On the second page is going to be a summary sheet, and what we'll do is we'll kind of walk through all that information as well. Okay. So going on the first page, what we did was we started with a conceptual budget, worked our way through the schematic budget to the 75%, and now we're at the final GMP stage. So if you look at the final GMP column, right now we're at a budget of about $2.3 million for the construction budget. And right now we're tracking a little bit higher cost than what we expected right now. So what we're doing is we're trying to work down those costs through value engineering. So if you look at the second page, right now we're working through those items and have identified about 6 of those items that we're trying to work through to cut down a lot of those costs. And in those costs, we've identified deleting some of these STC rated doors. So that $58,700 line item, that includes 21 doors that we've taken from basically an STC 50 rating down to a 48 rating. So very minimal STC rating costs. That's a high dollar amount. A lighting control credit of $21,000. A finishes and casework credit of about $5,000. We've looked at eliminating a storage area for $80,000, removing the public restrooms for $16,000. We've talked to Judge Wine about deleting the courtroom pews for $25,000. That's one that he's not in favor of, but we have identified that credit for $25,000. So right now, for all the value engineering credits, we're right at about $220,000. So those are the value engineering credits we're at right now. Now let me back up, and when you look at the overall cost for both Phase 1 and Phase 2, and when you look at the architect fees, the FF&E, which stands for furniture, fixtures, and equipment, and the AV cost that you guys have incurred, the owner locks and everything, right now the overall budget for this project is a little over $500,000. So that's why we've looked at all these different value engineering options. And we've tried to bring this cost, obviously we're trying to bring this total overall project to $30 million. That's what we've always tracked for this project. So that's why we've looked at all these value engineering options. Okay? So we've tried to identify paths. So when you look at these potential totals and you look at the potential path, you know, what we're going to try and look at doing is utilizing the contingencies and the allowances from Phase 1. And like we've talked about, you know, in Phase 1, any unused contingencies and allowances that we don't use in Phase 1, we're going to roll into Phase 2. We've looked at about $120,000 in savings in Phase 1 that will roll into Phase 2. Right now, we're tracking about $164,000 in the overall overage. So that's really where that overage is, the total overall right now in the project. So we're still working through all these overages right now. We got a lot of work to do, but that's kind of where we're at in the broad scheme of things. We're working with GGA, obviously with the architect. We're still looking at different options. There's a lot of things we're still working through, but that's kind of where we're at. I know that it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on right now, but we've been working diligently in the last 3 or 4 weeks on trying to cut these costs, trying to save any dollars we can, to obviously bring this overall budget and overall project to right at $30 million.
And you're gonna be able to get there, right?
We're trying like hell. Yes,
You're
we
gonna
are.
be able to get there, right?
We are.
Okay, great. That's what we want to hear.
But the only thing is like, on the courthouse pews, I'm not sure how you're going to do that.
Well, and that's the big deal. Right now, that was what Judge Linus' concern was, is that if you get rid of the pews and you put chairs in there, that's where the security comes from. They don't want to be able to use chairs because it's a security concern. So, we're probably not going to get rid of that one.
Yeah, remove the public restroom. Where would the next closest public restroom be if that's removed?
So that restroom, if I could speak, that restroom is on the south end of the phase 2 side. That was put there for convenience. There's other public restrooms, but it'd be easier coming in from the south. Our people coming up there, it's a convenience restroom for them, so they don't have to go all the way back to the jail side. Our courtroom and courthouse security people, so they don't have to all the way back to the jail or come upstairs to go to the restroom. So it's not something that has to be made as a convenience that we set up. And to answer your question, Todd, if it all comes down to it, we're going to meet with Judge Wine this week. The easy way to take care of this is we have to cut something. I mean, that's just like me. I had to cut $12.5 million to get where we were at. We've already talked to Judge Wine. If that's what we have to do, is we'll decide what can be done and what can't. But Judge Weinberg said he's not getting rid of fees, and I agree with you. But I don't want chairs in there to make it happen.
Out of all those value engineering things, do you or Wade see something's got to keep in there out of safety, necessity, or convenience?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all that.
Is what they've got listed here for value engineering, trying to cut costs, is there anything there that you feel that we really ought to keep? We talked about the pews.
I mean, the pews have got to stay. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, we've already talked to Judge Warren about the door. Yeah, we can eliminate some of those STC rated, not those high rated doors. The lighting controls, that's simple. Judge said, I have no problem flipping the switch instead of having electronic, switches in there. Stuff like that we can go through here and get rid of. Eliminating the storage there in our old jail bay. If we don't have to, we don't get some chain fencing put up in there and stuff, we can do that later, folks. We can come back a year from now and say, we really think we need that. We did it to cut budget. If we have to, we'll try to budget for it and get it done. I think we can work and get this under this plan. We told the folks, we've told them for the last 5 years, it's not going to go over $30 million. So we'll have to make it work. And then this time, the judge may have to cut some things.
Yeah.
It's not his project. I don't mean that. It's the county's project. It just benefits the court. But he's not going to get the final say. You and we are going to get the final say on what gets cut and what's not. So it's just we're early in this project. We need to sit down with the judge this week, and we've talked to him about it. I've seen what we can and can't do truthfully, and then bring it back to you. But we're going to be in the 30 because we told the public we were. We're not going $30 million in $1. We told them $30 million, and that's what the bond says, and that's what's going to happen.
I'm totally with you on that, but if it comes to safety.
Understand completely that doesn't matter. We'll have to get rid of something. If we do, if we have to cut, it'll be a non-safety sensitive thing we have to do. That's all there is to it.
We still have plenty of time to do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is just, you're 75% done right now. Is that,
No, we're at the 100% drawing.
Okay.
Yeah, but we still have time to do plenty of more value engineering to give you guys the options to let you pick and choose as well, too.
Very good.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm not in charge of engineering, not been involved in the deal, but I hate to see us eliminate a public restroom. You're talking that people have to walk across the building to go to a restroom. $16,000. To me, I'd rather have weeds in front of the building than have something like that. That's part of the building that we're going to be stuck with. That's something that's not going to be easy to go back and do later.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll just see what we got to have. And I'm not. I'm not going to get between you and Barb when she hears this statement about. Okay.
I'm just using that as an example.
You're going to get. I'm going to keep that.
Barb and I get along fine, and we're going to keep it that way. But we're building this facility, and you want to make something that's an annoyance for your officers and people to utilize this building, I would really hate to see us
Yeah, the
take
pews in the
that out.
restroom is where I'm questioning on moving. I mean, that would be the two that I would pick, but anyway.
We'll sit down this week with the judge and
Okay.
we'll see if we can get that.
That's just my opinion, I'm not the only one sitting here, but that's.
Do you have anything to add to that, Wayne?
The goal all along was to build a jail, and anything else that got brought along was extra. And as Tom indicated early on, he cut because he had to. The inside and the Sally Court got cut in half from what it was originally intended to be. We went from pods and 2 pods to dormitory style to save, $600,000 a pod. A number of things were cut so that the jail side could stay under what it needed to, so there'd be hopefully money left for the renovation. But the renovation, in my opinion, it's part of the bond, but it's the least concerning. And
sure,
whatever gets you to 30 is what the taxpayers signed off on. So I think now's time for the court side and the renovation side to figure out what to cut, because Tom had to cut. And if he didn't have to cut, he could have added an additional pod or some of the other things that he wanted to make it a fully functional jail going into the future, then that's what needed to happen. So tough conversations and decisions need to be made. There's a part in the phase 2 that included a protective custody victim waiting room, and I've already said the other day, it's got to go. And that will potentially save, I don't know what it is, but it's a room that you take that out, and that'll help to cut some of those costs. And that was a request of mine to put that in, because I think it's important for victims and for juveniles that are in protective custody to have that soft environment, especially when they're going into court. But if that's what it takes to get it under budget and under 30 million, then that's what needs to happen.
And we need to work together to obviously get a path to the 30 million. And I think it's going to be up to us to kind of work together to be able to provide a kind of a laundry list of what you guys priority of what you feel is in the best interests of the county to be able to pick and choose what you want from there on out.
I'm not sure if with phase 2 having a commissioner a part of those conversations, so that phase 2 involves the court on the court side, but as Tom said, it's a county building, and it's the county has to provide the space for the court, but the county gets to make the decisions on the purse string side of it. So I don't know if it would make sense to have a commissioner a part of that conversation, especially behind the scenes before it gets presented for a final decision from the commissioners.
I think it'd be a good idea to have a commissioner on, and not me, but but I think it'd be a good idea to have a commissioner on.
Well, at this point, with my personal issues I've got going on, I can't really take anything else on, because I'm gonna be absent some, possibly, and lots of my extra time she's got, so I just don't feel like I do a good job at it.
Well, not to pitch him and throw him out there, but Mike has a background in building, and I know if he were interested in that with the consensus of the board, he might be able to help on some of this value engineering and looking at designs. He might provide some useful insight, would be my
Yeah, I just think a commission needs to be on there as a liaison and just, and with Mike's expertise, maybe he'd be the one.
I don't know if you can work it in your schedule or not, Mike.
Sure he can.
Sounds like I'll have to.
Well, if you'd be able to,
If you'd
very
be
much
able
be
to.
appreciated because of your knowledge, you know.
Yeah, I'll do it.
If we get down really, really close, you negotiate your architectural fees to lower them from the 1.9 million.
That's a discussion with the county and GGA, the architect.
When do you plan to have these meetings?
Probably our next one will be in the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks from today?
I'd say in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
We'll start including you on the meetings.
Okay.
The first thing is sitting down with Judge Lyon and establishing priorities,
What we need and what we don't.
right.
So as of last Friday, we sent Judge Lyon the drawings to prioritize layouts and spaces. So that was as of last Friday.
Okay. Just keep me informed of the date.
Yep.
We'll make her happy.
We'll do it. Any other questions?
I believe so.
Thank you for your time today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Well, I guess we're ready for you, Mr. Bowie. My favorite item on the list at the bottom, even though that's not everything.
If you can stay for just a minute, Cole, because I want you to maybe talk about that contingency area where I made those notes.
Sure there is.
I wasn't sure.
You get a deal for this.
I'm sure it'll come in.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
yeah, like next month.
Or he'll submit it and just.
This was just, okay.
So it's everybody's favorite time of the meeting, I'm sure. Pay application time, and
At least we got there.
We did.
what's that?
I said, at least we got there. This is the part where we asked Tom, right?
There is a section, we discussed that again, right on there, asked Tom. He knows the consequences of that too, I made it very clear what was gonna happen.
So will it take a minute to load that, or are you about ready?
We're about ready.
Okay.
You wanna take a break?
No, I would just, this resolution to close this road, I mentioned that maybe, 2 weeks away, but we already have a 10 o'clock appointment with the auditors on the 30th, so I didn't know what we need to do to choose a date or a time.
We just move it back an hour.
Yeah, or,
It's just a hearing, on that, right?
Right, I just said,
We'll just move the auditor to like 10:10 or 10:05.
Can we do that, just move the auditors down a little bit on our appointment? They're not a scheduled deal or anything, are they? It has to
She
be
just
legal.
told him at 10, so,
Okay.
This thing, the road closure should.
Yeah, I don't look for there to be anything for sure.
Not on this one, because where we got, it's.
Yeah,
I don't know.
person on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do we wanna go ahead and schedule that for the 30th? That'll give you time on the notifications on it. Okay, do you wanna fill that out, so I don't mess it up, please?
get his email this afternoon, get it in the state.
So we're gonna talk about pay application number 19. It came in, mid to late week last week. We met Friday to cover it so they could get, on the agenda in front of you. So that's why it showed up late, but it's just over $1.5 million. The pay app itself is in front of you. It's the same format as all the others, but there's one area where I want to kind of focus on a little bit, and that's this area. This is the spreadsheet that we don't usually cover, but after the last conversation, and you're trying to kind of look into the future with allowances and what money's going to be left over, this section here, allowances and all these items are all money that was allocated as part of the original Phase 1 project for what you want to call the unforeseen circumstances, I guess is the way to put it. So unforeseen foundations allowance is $70,000. Well, if you recall, there were items that were located and $54,660 of it was used as a part of the project. High RH epoxy floors allowance, $6,000. And talking with Cole, if anticipated, that's not going to be tapped into, so that $6,000 will be able to transfer over to Phase 2. Elevator use allowance. To get the elevators in, there was overtime that was paid, $5,200 to $5,500, that will be pulled from the $20,000 so that the elevators could be installed and up and running timely. So going down this list, we spent a little bit of time with Cole talking about this, so we had an idea, and I wanted to bring it up. You know, the street repairs allowance, Ryan mentioned the $10,000 from 244. This $12,500 is going to also be applied towards the $74,000. So that number is getting less and less because of these different things, pools of money that can be used to apply to it.
So the street repair, though, is that part of the $30 million?
Yes. So the street repair allowance was to patch, right? To patch at the end of the project for any damage to the road that goes around the perimeter of the building, instead of patching, which can be done, but it doesn't make sense. Take that $12,500 and just apply it to the redoing the whole thing, and that's what was talked about way back when that discussion occurred.
So to answer your question, no, it was not part of the original $30 million project. That was not in scope. We just have money in this allowance that we're willing to put into that to help lower that cost.
Well, I guess that's, can we pay for all of the project and free up that $12,000 to help pay for the restroom? Or I'm just using that as an example, whatever it may be that we need that we're tight on here at the end.
I mean, you could, whatever doesn't get used in the allowances is going to transfer over to Phase 2. So whatever is left here, and I don't think we have the hard figures just yet.
And that was, Joe gave a figure of approximately $120,000, I think is kind of what we're anticipating, including the allowances and the remaining construction contingency. Obviously, that is approximate and potentially change, but that is the figure, kind of taking into account what we're figuring still, carrying over.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was a possibility to free up a little bit of money there. Because we're redoing the road, I mean.
Yeah.
That's a road project in my mind, but.
Yeah, no, it's extra outside of the scope of the original project.
Yeah.
If I had a way to print off phase two, at least what we, I'd have to go to the other building now, which I'll have to sort that out, because that's not convenient.
We have to have an annex office over here.
So, I just wanted you to note that. So,
Okay.
pay app number 11 for Concrete Unlimited, it's $153,900. I don't have, since we've gone through this so many times now, the retainage breakdown. I think you know that's with retainage. And then at the very bottom, prior to retainage, it's 171. So,
Okay.
and that was for curbs, sidewalks, etc. You go around, I think it's pretty self-explanatory where the concrete work came from for that time period. IBC Carpentry, pay app number 15, that total $174,380.71. This is where that money comes from. Accessories, past paper towel holders, bathroom accessories. Going on to the next page. Flagpole materials, signage materials, blinds, and the total $193,756.35. DH Restoration, pay app number 8, $17,577.22. Security sealants, joint sealants, fire stopping. We've seen this before. It's just kind of continuation of what you've seen previously. Romsburg, pay app number 5, the total $5,095.80. Installation and labor, pretty self-explanatory. The total before retainage, $5,662. Higgins, pay app number 11, $22,356.68. Drywall and ceiling grid materials and labor, $24,840.76. Painting, $13,278.60. It's got the breakdown of what's been painted. $14,754. Bitsum flooring, $4,968. LVT flooring installation, carpet tile installation, Brazilian base installation. Total $55.20. Poly Jail, pay app number 16, $215,542.80. Security hollow metal and detention hardware installation, detention furniture and equipment. You've been in the facility lately and been into any modules. You'll know exactly where the lion's share of that amount comes from. Some lesser amounts from security mesh installation, security access panel installation, and then the ultimate total, $239,492. Payout number 8 for Conley sprinklers, $11,531.02. Labor and change orders. And if you want to see it, here's your change order list so you can kind of look back and see. This has all 40 change orders, and Cole put it in a way where you just attach this to this and you can look at it and see what ties to what and what subcontractor. So, McElroy's payout number 15, $293,499. And all kinds of things. And those guys are there all the time working. Their total 326,111. Shelley Electric, same thing. They're there. Payout number 15. This is the big one this time, $413,612.06. Again, all kinds of things that they've been there working on and taking care of. And the total $459,568.96. So I've got the pay app. We went over it. There wasn't anything that stood out. Cole answered all the questions. It's sort of a well-oiled machine when we go over these pay apps now. He already has the answers to the majority of the questions we ask about the different subcontractors, and I think they know what to expect as well.
Took them a little bit.
You got 'em. So, if you don't have any questions, then I throw that motion for payout number 19 out for you.
Okay. A motion to approve the application and certificate for payment, application number 19, for period ending 5/31/2025, submitted by River City Construction LLC in the amount of $1,503,874.99 for work completed reference to Coffee County Law Enforcement Center project. Funds to come from the jail construction project fund number 111.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Been moved by McCurry and seconded by Evans-Ross. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Anything else, Wade? Anything else?
I'll go.
Alright, I'm gonna clean stuff up.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Yep. Guess we got some stuff to sign. There's that road closure resolution.
You go and sign that over.
financial issues.
As this is going to go into that.
Wade, did you get everything moved?
Not everything, majority. To move.
It helped you get the elevators going, didn't it?
Hope we get the elevators going.
Good, how are you?
So how does,
Can't be insured.
oh, so it was insured? Well, I didn't realize that. Back then when the address came in, I thought Bruce and Thomas.
I don't know where they went to, should be the end of it. That's from,
I knew there was a bunch of guns. Well, the main thing is nobody was hurt. Kids were around there. Well, maybe cousin, maybe. No, well, no, it's a fairly new home. Bruce and Donna was, it was, what, 30, probably 30 years old. It is.
Just look like a nice home.
It was.
My theory is you was that pile of wood they dropped off for me today, that bring the house up, turning that stuff.
That's new. That's new.
I understand, I get it.
No, it was a nice home.
I'm gonna wait till it gets up to 103, 105 feet index for her to go to work, so.
Yeah, that'd be a good time, good start.
Why not?
We never did top out of volume until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, do we have everything signed?
Last one got signed.
Okay. Well, this ready for roundtable, or what's everybody got?
The main thing was gonna be the Maribels, and I think a decision needs to be made regarding that, because you wanna get on that guy's schedule as soon as possible.
Yeah, I visited with him over this and asked him to email me this quote, he said he could get to it in a couple of weeks. I I talked to another guy about coming and doing it, he was interested, he never showed up, I never got a call, so.
Okay.
But I think this is pretty reasonable for what it is. We need to get this done so Colin can get his roof done.
Well, we do.
Move on with this.
And the guy's out of Ottawa, right? Mike?
Yes, yeah. So he's working in Linden right now, so. Doing a building downtown or something, so he said. Like I said, he told me a couple weeks he could get on.
He's done other buildings in downtown Burlington.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, he's done numerous ones downtown, he's pretty good at what he does.
So I will tell you, all of the items that I have signed and I've been a part of related to the Maribel's building have been paid out of the Economic Development Loan Fund, because that's where this adventure started. So just FYI, in case you decide to move forward, where you want to pull that money from.
Money in there, do we?
I think there's like 580,000 something.
I thought we did.
Does that mean that when something happens and we get proceeds from the sale or whatever, the funds will go back into that fund?
That would be my recommendation, and that's why I've intentionally had it pulled from there, so that whatever is generated on the back end, then it can go back to where it came from.
So, under economic development, it's $372,000. Economic development alone is $524,000, so. Which one is just economic development then?
Development loan, you said loan.
Under the loan?
Yeah. Because that's where this started, was an economic development loan.
Okay, okay.
How much was it, Lee?
There's $524,754 in there.
Yeah, it's off a couple thousand.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, if we, like I said, if we wanna do this, I can get a hold of them and tell them, get this done for us. Get this over with.
Definitely need to.
Mike, with the rings tonight.
No guarantees. But it made it through 6 inches last time, so.
You did all right. You did all right.
And I'm sure the city would appreciate having the barricades removed as soon as possible also.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
just
it's-
move on to this since all that rain and see if any of that tarp is moved or anything, or that.
Call them,
Well, that's the way it is on the line.
Yeah.
I didn't know something new.
Okay.
Well, and so-
What you need. Okay, that's good. Good. Motion to accept the bid from Superior Masonry and Restoration Incorporated dated 6/10/2025 for 405 Neosho Street to remove and relay brick on the north elevation of the east building at the building, how do you pronounce that word?
Parapet.
Parapet, okay, just like it looks. Approximately the top 18 inches in the amount of $8,250 with funds to come from Economic Development Loan Fund.
I'll make motion.
I'll second.
Been moved by Avandroth, seconded by McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Oh, we do,
Get it done.
we do.
I'm going.
And gone. So we've got to get it finished.
I saw you took up the motion this morning for Kale. Kale's back here. you remember him
Yes,
from
sir. Good
a
to
couple
have you
years
back.
ago.
I can officially introduce myself. So, yeah, I'm Cale Johnson. I'm a lifelong Coffee County resident. Went to Burlington High School, graduated in 2020. Then went to Baker University, graduated from there. I'm now finished my second year of Washburn Law. I took advantage of Wade's in the county's legal intern program twice, 2 summers ago, and then the summer before that. And then now I'll be receiving my temporary, like, Supreme Court 715 license for the summer, so I'll be able to do pretty much everything an attorney can do, just with my supervising attorney with me. So, yeah, nice to officially meet everybody.
Welcome aboard.
So does that make you eligible, like, to do a public defender job or anything like that?
So I think you can, you just kind of get to choose your attorney. And since I was able to work with Wade a couple summers ago and just know what Wade stands for and how good he is at his job, I just decided to do it with Wade. So,
Very good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
I think that'd be good for
Yep.
good situation.
First-hand experience, so I just officially meet everybody.
And Caleb, what you were exposed to 2 summers ago, similar to what these two are being exposed to, how did that help or translate when you were looking for a law school, and then once you got to law school, just so everybody knows about the internship experience and what you get out of it?
Yeah, so I mean, when I was here, I got to witness, commissioner meetings, misdemeanor, felony courts, jury trials, bench trials. So when I got to law school, I was deciding between KU and Washburn. Washburn is more centered towards, I think, a rural area and rural practicing. So that kind of made my decision to go to Washburn. What was the other part of that question?
Just the value in doing
Yeah, and then I got to Washburn as well. I felt like I was kind of light years ahead. I mean, you get into class, they teach you everything about the law, but it's tough to actually, see it on paper.
Whereas you've had
So
some
being able to
hands-on.
see it hands-on, I felt like I was kind of light years ahead of
Yeah.
everyone else. So it's been a great experience for me. So it's kind of brought me here. So
You even mentioned when you were at Baker and you were in a business law class and they were
Yeah.
talking about Coma and Cora, and you
yeah,
actually got
seen it
to
firsthand. Yeah, yeah, it was a great experience. So yeah, nice to meet everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Last thing I have, and not exactly what I want to do, but a 10-minute executive session, attorney-client. It will be to discuss what I characterize as a potential legal, I'll call it a legal vulnerability that needs to be addressed. We need to start that discussion. So it might be beneficial, there's no seating, but we could walk across the hall to the current old county attorney's office and not go downstairs.
Okay. All right, so a motion for a 10-minute executive session for attorney-client privilege, potential legal vulnerability to include all the commissioners and the county attorney. Anything else in there? Also moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Thompson, seconded by Barker. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. So which we just give us a couple minutes. We'll go in at 11:51 for 10 minutes. Well, I guess, yeah, we're good. No action taken in the previous executive session?
Yeah, I'm not requesting any action to be taken at this time.
You'll have to sign them, they're just the road and bridge.
Oh, okay, okay,
contracts
all
that
right.
Kill.
I'll come in here later then, thank you.
You and Wade will have to both sign.
Okay. That all you have, Wade?
That's it.
Only thing I was gonna bring up was about the tourism board, and we covered that pretty well earlier, so I'm good.
Good.
Sound like positive news. Yeah. Good. All right.
Only thing I had was Maribel's down there to get that started, so we finish that. Yeah.
Okay, sound like we're underway there.
I don't have anything to say.
I do not either.
Maybe Becky's burning us whole lunch to do.
You have anything for us, young lady? Okay. Well, I guess we don't have to be in session for me to sign these, so I guess we just as well adjourn, hadn't we, folks?
Yeah.
Okay, adjourn at
Sounds good.
12:04.